Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. Algeria calls for dialogue and condemns any attempts to justify attacks on Iran and urges diplomatic resolution through the UN Security Council, while Gaza remains under fire as the Zionist entity continues its intensified strikes on the Strip. The brutal assassination of Moroccan political opponent Mehdi Ben Barka continues to haunt the Makhzen regime as a symbol of political repression. New wave of military graduates honored. Ceremony is held at the Republican Guard Music in Algiers in the command of General School and General School Staff in Temefust and Non-Commissioned Officer School of Logistics in Iran. Welcome back. First off, tasked by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, arrived today in Istanbul to take part in the proceedings of the 51st session of the OISC Foreign Ministers' Council held in the Brotherly Republic of Turkey on the 21st and 22nd of the current month. The latest developments on the situation in the Middle East following the Zionist aggression on Iran amid the ongoing extermination on the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip is expected to top the agenda of the meeting, in addition to other political development and organizational issues. To another activity of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, where he participated in the emergency session of the Council of the League of Arab States at the ministerial level in Istanbul, devoted to discussing the development of the Zionist aggressions against the Islamic Republic of Iran. The participants condemned the Zionist aggression against Iran as it constitutes a violation of the UN Charter and a threat to peace and security in the entire Middle East region, calling on the UN Security Council to assume its responsibilities in this regard. Their foreign ministers called for de-escalation, a ceasefire, and the return to the path of negotiation with a view to finding a peaceful settlement to the Iranian nuclear file. It was emphasized during the meeting that the key to peace in the Middle East remains linked to stopping the war of extermination against the Palestinian people and pushing towards a just and final settlement of the Palestinian issue in accordance with the foundations of international legitimacy. In similar developments, the UN Security Council held an emergency meeting on the Zionist aggression against Iran. Through its permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Benjama, Algeria called for dialogue, expressing rejection of all attempts to justify aggression on a sovereign UN member states, adding that negotiations are the best option for diplomacy victory. Here's Ambassador Benjama.
I thank the Secretary General for his remark and his personal engagement toward peace and stability in the region. And we echo your call for dialogue and for ending the fighting. I also thank USG DiCarlo and Director General Grossi for their briefings. Madam President, Israel's attack against Iran is an unprovoked and unjustified act. It constitutes a flagrant violation of the Charter of the United Nations. This is an attack on nuclear facilities under IAEA safeguard.
Let's stay in New York, where the UN Security Council held a session devoted to the latest developments in Ukraine and the peace efforts, during which the member of Algeria's permanent mission to the UN, Tawfiq Qudri, reaffirmed that Algeria calls for prioritizing the protection of civilians as instructed by international commitments, adding that Algeria supports the ongoing diplomatic efforts. On the 8th day of military confrontations between Iran and the Zionist entity, the Iranian Air Force struck Zionist military targets in the heart of occupied Palestine. The Revolutionary Guard confirmed that effective missile strikes would continue and gradually intensify amid growing international calls for dialogue and negotiations. Mili Salila Banaman brings us to speed on the latest developments.
In an unprecedented escalation between Iran and the Zionist occupation, Iran's air defense system demonstrated a remarkable ability to disrupt Zionist interception systems. This was evident when a long-range Sijil missile struck northern parts of the occupied territories, scattering debris and injuring 27 Zionists, while causing extensive damage to buildings. Tehran appears to have prioritized precision and quality in targeting deep within enemy territory, aiming for a destructive impact on sensitive sites, a move that triggered high alert across northern occupied Palestine. The escalation signals Iran's shift to a calculated offensive phase, deploying ballistic and hypersonic missiles, along with drones, which have severely destabilized Zionist forces and exposed their vulnerability to infiltration and uncertainty. Iran's military response has broken the Zionist regime's long-standing impunity, often reinforced by a complacent and silent international community. Meanwhile, in retaliation, the Zionist entity targeted the southern Iranian city of Shiraz. In response, Iran's air defenses have continued to successfully repel the Zionist entity's ongoing attacks.
L'Attenta, released in 1972, the cinematic masterpiece reviewed earlier in our channel, offers a powerful glimpse into the most enduring and dark chapters of the Moroccan history, the assassination of Mehdi Ben Barka. Melissa Lila-Kabash tells us more.
The assassination of Mehdi Ben Barka, released in 1972, the cinematic masterpiece by Bouassi, wasn't just a thrilling political drama. It was a defiant act of truth, yet profoundly exposing the political corruption and human cost behind Ben Barka's disappearance. His 1965 abduction in Paris, orchestrated under the direct supervision of high-ranking Moroccan officials, remains a stark symbol of a regime's willingness to commit grave crimes to maintain its grip on power. Ben Barka, a prominent figure in Morocco's independence movement and a champion for a democratic and just society, was perceived as a direct threat to the monarchy's rule. The atrocious details of his alleged torture and the macabre disposal of his remains underscore the extreme measures taken to silence a voice advocating for his people's rights and dignity. The cinematic lens, as we've seen tonight, can pierce through the veil of official narratives, shedding light on stories like Ben Barka's that autocratic regimes desperately try to bury. It serves as a reminder of the countless untold stories of those who dared to challenge the status quo and paid the ultimate price.
That was a report of Melissa Kabash on L'Attenta. In other news, in Gaza, the Zionist entity intensified its attack with new massacres took place. At least 82 Palestinians were killed. On Friday, among the 22 martyrs killed south of the Strip, 11 were seeking aid. The Republican Guard Music School, named after the late Mujahid Al-Amin Bashishi, held its annual graduation ceremony. The event was led by the actor Major General, commander of the Republican Guard, with military and civilian guests in attendance. Manal Maafou.
After 2 years of high-level training, the 2024-2025 graduating class of the music school, named after the late Mujahid Al-Amin Bashishi, under the authority of the Republican Guard, is celebrating its graduation. The ceremony was presided over by the acting Major General, commander of the Republican Guard. The festivities began with a review of the ranks, followed by a speech from the school's commander, who reflected on the training and internships undertaken by the students over the past 2 years. He emphasized the importance of maintaining discipline and remaining faithful to the responsibility that is now entrusted to them.
Dear graduates, this year the High Command of the People's National Army set a key goal for military music: achieving top-level proficiency through expanded training for musical ensembles. You will soon be part of this effort. Live up to your superiors' trust and apply your training with excellence in the field.
The graduates then took the oath. before receiving their diplomas and ranks in a solemn and festive atmosphere. The flag was then handed over by the graduating class to the next class, continuing a tradition that symbolizes the spirit of continuity and loyalty to the military customs.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم المجاهد المتوفى عبد الرحمن بسطنجي.
The graduating class was named after the late Mujahid Abdurrahman Bastanji in tribute to his struggle and sacrifices for the homeland. Before the closing of the ceremony, musical performances were presented, marked by harmony, cohesion, and professionalism, the result of the hard work and dedication throughout the year.
الذين التحقوا بصفوف الجيش الوطني الشعبي سليل جيش التحرير الوطني.
Finally, the family of the late Mujahid Abdurrahman Bastanji was honored, and the ceremony concluded with the signing of the guest book.
The Command and General Staff School in Temenfust held the graduation ceremony of its 53rd class, a significant milestone in the advanced training of officers from the land forces and various AMP structures as they prepare for critical responsibilities in today's evolving security landscape. Mia Salila Balaman explains.
At one of the principal centers of advanced military training, the Command and General Staff School Shahid Hamoud Ahmed, known as Sil Hawass in Temenfust, the graduation ceremony of the 53rd class of trainee officers from the Command and General Staff courses took place. Designed for active duty officers of the land forces and various structures of the People's National Army, this training constitutes a fundamental stage in the professional development of trainee officers, preparing them to assume future responsibilities within operational units and staff commands. After reviewing the detachments present at the ceremony, Major General Hassan Msahel, representative of the Land Forces Command, was followed by an address from Major General Mohammed Omar, Commandant of the Command and General Staff School. In his speech, he outlined the core aspects of the training program, highlighting the military and scientific instruction provided to equip officers with the expertise needed to operate effectively in line with the standards of the People's National Army.
The Command and General Staff School bears witness today to the emergence of a new cornerstone forged from among its own elite, a highly qualified and professional group fully aware of the nature and importance of the missions entrusted to them in light of the evolving defense and security imperatives imposed by the geopolitical situation and current security challenges facing our region, both regionally and internationally.
Certificates were then awarded to the top graduates of the class, including trainee officers from several brotherly countries. The representative of the Land Forces Command subsequently approved naming the graduating class after Shahid Abdurrahman Mulud.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل عبد الرحمن مولود.
The ceremony concluded with military demonstrations that showcased the high level of proficiency and tactical mastery achieved by the trainees at the end of their training. On the sidelines of the graduation, an exhibition was organized within the school's academic complex, highlighting the various activities carried out throughout the academic year. On this occasion, several trainee officers presented their final thesis projects. To conclude the event, a tribute was paid to the family of Shahid Abdurrahman Mulud, after whom the graduating class is named, followed by the signing of the school's guest book.
Similarly, no fewer than 3 classes graduated from the non-commissioned officer school of logistics, Shahid Bandarawa Abdul Qadir in Iran. The ceremony was overseen by Major General Mohammed Barakni, commander of the 2nd Military Region. Madan Maafa.
The Bindarawa Abdelkader Non-Commissioned Officers School for Military Equipment in Oran Province is a training institution that produces top talent each year in the field of military equipment. The graduation ceremony for 3 new classes began with a troop review conducted by Major General Mohammed Tayyib Brakni, commander of the 2nd Military Region. The classes received military, scientific and hands-on training aligned with the most modern educational methods. On this occasion, the school's commander urged the graduates to make full use of their theoretical knowledge throughout their professional careers.
Dear graduates, after completing a crucial phase of training within the walls of this school, you now begin a new chapter in your professional journey. Be strong through your military discipline, loyal in fulfilling your duties, and take inspiration from your predecessors, models of commitment, respect for the law, and dedication to the spirit of discipline.
The graduates then took the oath and ranks were awarded to the top students of each class, as well as to trainees officers from various brotherly and friendly nations. The ceremony continued with the handing over and receiving of the national flag.
نطلب من سيادتكم الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل مقطع علي المدعو فريد.
The graduating class was named in honor of the martyr Maqtait Ali, known as Farid. And to the rhythm of military music, the ceremony concluded with military demonstrations performed by the graduates. The Major General and the accompanying delegation then visited the various workshops of the school. At the end, a tribute was paid to the family of the martyr Maqtait Ali, known as Farid, before signing the school's golden book.
And finally, a taste of Algeria, the Algiers Street Food Festival, that's currently captivating food lovers at the Sablet. This highly anticipated 2nd edition, running from June 19th to the 23rd, is a true celebration of the nation's culinary heritage, showcasing both traditional Algerian dishes alongside modern twists and international influences. And with that, we end tonight's bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Good night.